They came upon us suddenly and quickly. We barely had any time to react. Some of us screamed and ran, while others of our city stood ready to fight. In the end, it didn't matter. These aliens had monstrous ships, and the aliens themselves towered over us. They did not kill us. There was no battle, and it was over in a matter of minutes. They had long, sharp tools they used to cut long and deep chasms into the ground around our territory of land. Then suddenly, we were in the sky, and we were moving fast, only to be dropped into a glass chamber. Now, we reside in a giant observation area. We're in one of their ships, I believe. Everything looks strange and synthetic. We're surrounded by glass that they peer at us through from time to time. We scream and beg to be released, but they don't seem to hear us. When everything first settled, and after we had some time to sort through all the confusion, we took in our surroundings and found our new land had no vegetation, nothing but a bleak dirt landscape, and some water in a basin these monsters filled daily. They placed atop our tank a synthetic sun that was much brighter and warmer than our sun, and many of us feared we'd be cooked alive. We decided that our only hope for survival in this new harsh reality is to flee underground, and hopefully the aliens wouldn't try and stop us. We began to dig and create tunnels underground where it was cool. We found it easiest to dig along the sides of the tank, and the aliens seemed to be excited by this, as they watched us intently at first. We had several tunnels and several spots where they connected, so we only had to go up to the surface to secure food and whatever else the aliens would give us. Eventually, we started to reform our community, or perhaps a better way to say it, we created a colony. And while we missed our old life and home, we were making do now, and we seemed to have a purpose again. That's when the monstrous aliens began experimenting on us. They began by obstructing some of the entrances into the tunnels, making us rifle through one hole in the ground to collect our things on the surface. We weren't sure what they wanted from us, so we made the one hole wider so that we could march 2 by 2. 1 row for in, 1 row for out. We did this for a couple days, but decided late one night, while we thought they might be sleeping, or something more sinister, we would come together and remove the obstructions from our holes so that we might return to our work there. After they saw that, they began giving us less food and draining our water so that we had to severely ration what we had. We still worked on developing new tunnels and quarters for various purposes, even after we ran out of food and water, though we did slow down to preserve energy. We would not let them deter us. Once this happened, they upped our food once more and gave us back our water. Next, they waited until we were hard at work before sticking a long rod down into the earth until it breached a tunnel they were observing. They rotated it in big arcs until it collapsed the tunnel. They then removed the rod and stared intently as we worked to recreate the tunnel and unbury any of our colony who could not escape the cave-in on time. They did this twice a day for a week, collapsing every major tunnel, going deeper every time. They are currently in the middle of a particularly gruesome experiment now, or so we figure, as once a day for a week now, they've taken 2 of our people and have not returned them. They wait for our thirst to consume us and make our way to the top before capturing 1 or 2 of us and disappearing. Eventually, they are returned to us, but they are different. Sometimes missing limbs, sometimes they simply aren't all there. The first two came back missing arms and had trouble moving. The second pair came back and simply stood in place. They were awake, they recognized movement, but they just stood there and refused to talk, to eat, or to drink. They only withered away yesterday. The third set came back without their legs, and if we hadn't noticed their coming, would have baked in the synthetic sun before we could drag them down below to take care of them. The fourth day they returned and simply ran in circles, as if they had no idea how to move properly anymore. Big, wide circles towards their target. They eventually fell in the basin. We tried to help them, but they just drifted down and drowned. They have yet to be removed. Now it is day 5, and they have brought the experiment to us. A monster has been put in the tank with us. It has fangs and secretes a sticky substance from its bulbous backside. Its body is massive, and it scurries about with its dexterous 8 legs. When one of our colony tried to collect water, it pounced upon him and killed him instantly with its sharp fangs. There is no doubt they want to see how we will react. If we fight it, who will win, and how many of us will fall. We gather underground now, waiting for the synthetic light to grow dim. Then we will pour out of our holes in a swarm to try and confuse and overwhelm the monster. We may no longer have a queen, but our colony thrives nonetheless, and we will not stop living for ourselves no matter what these aliens throw at us. We may be stubborn, we may be fools, but we are ants, and we do not give up no matter the odds.